I asked him if he would allow me to tattoo myself at the end of the week, just so I can say I've done one at least. You know, I can finally say I've done one, which was 2 years ago today, actually. And yeah, he set up everything for me, and went out and had a bag. I was sitting there doing it, and nothing was going in, and he came back in and goes, "See the way there's nothing here." And like, yeah, because you're not going deep enough. It's not in there until it hurts. So, yeah, it hurt a lot, and it's still kind of there, but it looks like shit. Then after that, I got tattooed by him at a show, and met up with him a few times after that, and he asked if I would like to work there for free for the summer. It wasn't a guarantee of anything, it was just 3 months where I could come up and experience working in a tattoo shop. It was just for the experience, and at the end of the 3 months I asked if I could stay, and he let me stay. It was cool. I was tattooing people about 2-3 months later. When did I get into art? In primary school. It was in primary school. My brother and sister used to paint and draw and stuff like that. My brother used to draw an awful lot with pencil, and it was always life drawing or like fucking superheroes or whatever. And my sister used to paint and use charcoal an awful lot. She was more into the fine art kind of side of things, where he was into the more comic book style of stuff. And my aunt used to paint stuff. She used to paint she painted me like a scene from The Lion King for my bedroom when I was a kid, and my brother actually done Goofy and Donald Duck on my wall for me when I was fucking like 5 or 6 or whatever. I discovered tattoos when I was still in primary school. My brother got one. He got like a Celtic tribal cross thing on his arm. That's not his forearm, and he came home with it. And fucking, I remember my ma was like, "Don't show Dad," but it was always coming down past the t-shirt line, and that motherfucker never wore a jumper ever. And so my dad obviously saw it like 20 minutes later and fucking flipped the fuck out. Yeah, that was my first time seeing a tattoo, and my first time having like anything to do with tattooing was I was in, I think, 5th or 6th class in primary school, and I used to go to the tattoo shop with my cousins and stuff, and they'd get tattoos done, and I'd be sitting there looking around and really interested in what was going on and what they were doing. Like, I was wondering, why do they wrap things in cling film? My first time actually like designing a tattoo, I was in primary school, and there was this girl I was friends with who seen my drawings on Bebo, and she sent me a message asking me to draw or something. It was just a teeny tiny little butterfly that was solid black, and yeah, she ended up going and getting it. And I was still in primary school when my first ever design was tattooed, which was weird as hell. Like, I used to kind of think of like, I could actually do this if someone is getting something tattooed by me while I'm still really young. I think this is a good way of going. Like, being an apprentice is different for everyone across the board. Sometimes you don't even get to tattoo ever. Sometimes it's just free labour. You know, you get told to fuck off after a year. It's the joys. It's the game we play, like, you know. Luckily, the apprenticeship that I had started out in, I started by working the desk mostly. So I was outside the front. I didn't see any tattooing being done really. I was talking to customers, booking them in, talking them through their tattoos, what they were going to get done, taking their deposits and all that kind of thing, doing all that kind of work. And then as time went on, it was practice on fake skin a little bit, practice on pig skin a little bit, and then practice on the other apprentice that was working there. The two of us would stay late and tattoo each other, and it was pretty cool that we were allowed to do that, or we were able to do that. I'd done a slice of pizza on myself the first day my own tattoo machine arrived. I wasn't getting paid for an apprenticeship. No apprentice really does. It's more so you pay your dues, you're the bitch like in there for a long time, and I wasn't earning any money other than like designs or paintings I could sell or drawings I could sell. So it took me a long time to actually buy my own tattoo machine, and when it arrived, arrived and I set up and tattooed with it straight away. Like 15 minutes after I got it in the post, I tattooed myself and just done a little slice of pizza. They're like, the work that's involved before doing a tattoo is so much more than what people think or know. Like, they think we come in and sit down and just fucking put cling film on this, put some ink out, and there's your picture done, and see you later, off out the door. But say when I started my apprenticeship, you weren't allowed to even look at tattooing. Like, it was study bloodborne pathogens, study cross-contamination, look at them, look at the guys that are tattooing and watch what they're doing, practice line work on paper, like, you know, practice your drawing skills, draw when you finally know what you're going to tattoo. Before you, like when I started tattooing, I had to draw it I think 8 times before I was allowed to tattoo it. So I was like, I knew that image in and out. I knew every line, knew every little piece of where shading was meant to go, where it was meant to come from, and knew what needles I was meant to use, because there's different needles in tattooing. Like, you know, you got fucking mags for shading, and you got liners and stuff, and round shaders, and loads of different things like that you can use. So it's finding what best suits the job you're going to do. There's an awful lot more work involved. Like, say someone can book in today, or they're booked in for 2 weeks time. They'll come in and have a chat about what they want to get done, and when I'm driving home in the car this evening, I'm thinking about how that's going to work. Like, how is that going to fit, and how is that going to sit on this area of the body? Are they skinny? Are they large? Is their skin bad? Is their skin good? Where's it going on the body? Like, the ribs is a very different place to the forearm, like, you know. As well as you're going to draw it a couple of times, maybe. You know, if someone comes in and they want something really different, you're going to draw it 2 or 3 times, and that's all unpaid. You're not working those hours either. Like, you know, you're up late answering messages from people on Facebook that want to get tattooed, or you're drawing for someone else, or you're drawing for yourself, trying to get your own artwork out there. First person that I tattooed that wasn't myself was my brother. So he was pretty cool about it. He came up and got tattooed and everything, and it's still there anyway. I think he was a little bit scared of when I was tattooing him, because it was on the back of his calf, so he couldn't see anything I was doing. I was just fucking sitting there going do. But he was grand. He was pretty cool through it all. He was happy enough when it was finished. I was fucking delighted when it was finished. I actually have it in a photograph of it somewhere still. But my first paid customer came in and got this little star, little watercolor star, like a Mario star. And she came in, sat down, and we started tattooing, and I was really fucking psyched up and ready to go. Like, I was happy out. And he, or she rather, sat down and was chatting away with me while I was tattooing, and asked how long had I been doing it for. And I was like, good well, it's pretty long time now. And she was like, have you been tattooing many like customers and stuff? And I was like, yeah, I've been tattooing like paying customers for the last like 2-3 weeks. Little did she know she was the first one. My dad wanted me to work a job that paid a lot of money for not that much work, so he was like, fucking go get an education for yourself and that kind of thing, whereas that didn't work with me at all. Like, I couldn't sit there and stare at a book for 2 hours at a time. I wouldn't even stare at it for 15 minutes. I couldn't. And my mum just didn't understand it either. It scared the shit out of them. Like, they didn't understand at the time what tattoos were. They thought it was like a really hush fucking criminal thing, like, you know. Once they kind of seen me moving forward with the whole thing and actually getting ahead into the job, into the line of work, they were pretty happy about it. They were pretty cool about it all. With the whole stigma around tattooing, like when I was in school, I used to have to go for meetings with like the principal about what you're going to do with your life after you finish school. And she was where I was. She was it was like a career guidance kind of meeting every fucking 2 weeks or a month or something, and she would have to look up a course that you could do, or like college course that you could move forward with that career path that you want to take. And every time I went in, it was, I want to tattoo. It was like, well, would you not rather be a fashion designer or a graphic designer, or what was the other one, an interior decorator, so a painter. And every week or every fucking month or whatever it was, I used to just be sitting there saying, I don't want to do any of that. Like, why are you still trying to talk me out of it? Like, you're not my man. Go away. But as well as that, like, you'd have different things, like different people just staring at you or whatever. But it's not as bad as what it used to be. It'd be mostly in country pubs now. You'd have a few people turn heads and be like, what? But it's not too bad anymore, I don't think, anyway. I'm not old enough yet to be like, back in my fucking day, you know. But at the moment it seems to be getting better and better, and tattoos are way more accepted than what they used to be. Dealing with people that are nervous, we like to offer a comfortable experience for everyone. Everyone that walks in the door is met with a smile and a hello. Like, even when we're tattooing here, it's like we're busy, we're tattooing, and people are standing up at the counter, and they're always met with a, well man, I'll be up to you in 2 minutes, just give me a minute and I'll be up to you, like, that's all. And if they're here for a tattoo, if they're here for their appointment, they're met with a smile as well, and asked if they're ready and have they eaten today, are you well rested, are you feeling okay, and they're made to feel comfortable. Like, you know, we can usually see if someone is uncomfortable, you know, they're not laughing at anything we're saying and they're kind of stuttering, like, you know, that kind of thing. And so we kind of take a minute to, like, we go through everything really slowly, and like, we're going to do the line work first, and then we'll do your colours, and you can have a break at any stage if you want. If you feel dizzy at any point, let me know. But I think we're pretty good here for customer service anyway. My tattoos, first one that most people actually ask me about is my pan. They usually ask, is it a snowflake? So there's that. But it's a Viking compass. It was done by a guy named Boff Conkers, who is now in Iceland. As far as I know, he used to travel an awful lot. It was hand poked, so it hurt like a bitch. But I got it the day that I asked the guy in Armagh if I could be an apprentice. And he said yeah, so I was like, fuck it, I'm getting a tattoo on the palm of my hand then, as it's sealing the deal. Like, I'm not doing any other job ever, like, unless I'm going to be a fucking rock star and I don't play any instruments. Like, Vikings used to paint it on their ships and stuff, as like this will get us home safely. They used to paint it on their shields and on their ships, and that was my way of saying I'm at home. Like, I found my way home safely, I'm a tattoo artist now. That's all I'm going to be, like, you know. My pencils and paintbrush and tattoo needles are what I use every single day. Those are my tools, and the hammer is the tools that, like, my dad used and stuff, like, you know. That was like, I came from a working class background, so I'm staying in a working class background, just a very different one. My wisdom tooth is because I never got one, and I want to be wise. Like, who doesn't want to be wise? And my match is for anyone that needs a light. My rose was done, I drew it in college. I used to go home and draw outside of college instead of actually drawing in college, because I fucking hated what I was doing in there. So I'd come home and draw, and I drew this at my kitchen table at like 2 a.m. or whatever, and sent a message to an artist and asked him if he'd tattoo it for me. And we met at a convention, and I hounded him until he did tattoo it for me. My Not Dead Yet is something I could always see. I got it while I was in a shit place, not doing what I wanted to do every day, and it was like a little idea that, like, I used to say it to myself every day, that you're not dead yet and your dream's not dead yet, so keep on going, like, you'll fucking get there.